Hi, if you ever had some kind of body pain or aches generalized all over the body, or if you felt tired while going through your daily routine, you might be suffering from vitamin D deficiency. And this is the topic of the day. And today I'm going to talk about the 9 major effects of vitamin D on human body. And they are not just going to be on the skeletal muscles. It's going to be a surprise for most of you. So let's start the video. The first point is what are the effects of vitamin D on bones? And that's the most popular statement that everybody knows, that vitamin D is associated with bone development, bone health and all that. And that's true. Before 11 years of age, when the baby is small and he or she is going through the childhood, there is a lot of bone development, and the vitamin D is a necessity, and usually the recommended daily allowance is much more as compared to people who are in the middle age. But the point is, usually whatever the baby is taking, it needs to be monitored if it's properly fortified with vitamin D or not. I'm going to talk about the details of treatment and the best way of the treatment in my next video. So I won't be going into the detail and what kind of things that you should be doing in order to treat it. I'm just going to focus what happens when the vitamin D is going to be deficient in this video. So the baby is usually finding it difficult to go through the recreation and running around. The legs might not be too straight, and there may be an angle in the legs. They may be bowing towards the lateral side. The distance between the knees, they might increase, or it may even decrease in some cases, and the decision has to be taken by the orthopedic surgeon or an experienced physician. Your decision should not be self-made. So the baby is sometimes finding it difficult even to write because of the difficulty in maintaining the muscle insertion over the wrist, and the baby is having some kind of pains in the shoulders, in the thighs, and is feeling tired most of the time. It needs to be diagnosed in so many terms because rickets is of so many types. If you are having that problem, your physician should be informed about it, and vitamin D should be checked. And if now the patient is in the adult age, greater than 11 or 13 years of age, and still he or she is having vitamin D deficiency, still the bone needs vitamin D. If it's not provided with sufficient amount of vitamin D, the result would be that the bones are going to be weak, and if you do the X-ray, there might be loosened zones over there, and the patient is going to be having difficulty in walking sometimes, or running, or if he or she tries to exercise, he is going to have early fatigability in the muscles and aches and pains in the lower legs, and especially heels. Now, the decision of osteomalacia is not that simple. The point of this video is I just want to put an appetizer that vitamin D deficiency can lead to so and so things. So this proper diagnosis needs to be made by the expert physician that is going to check you or the concerned person that you are watching this video for. Then next thing is, if I have talked about the bone in the childhood and the adult, the next thing is the muscles. Muscles are very much dependent on vitamin D for their proper functioning. There is a thing called vitamin D receptor, VDR. It goes into the vitamin D attaches to the VDRs, and then it stimulates a cascade of events that maintains the muscle strength up to a particular level. So if the muscle strength isn't there, the person will find it difficult to go through the daily activities, and even the simple daily activities will turn into some kind of hurdle, and he or she won't be able to maintain the good quality of life with the low vitamin D level, because the muscles are going to ache all through the time, and usually every muscle of the body is going to ache. Most of the times it's behind the shoulders, on the back, in the thighs, and in the lower calves. It can be in multiple other spectrum of pain combination, but this is the usual combination that I have told you. Now I am going to go a little off-road. Vitamin D, when you think of it, you think of bones in childhood, adult, and then the muscles. But vitamin D is a lot more than that. This vitamin D receptors are situated on almost all the nucleated cells of the body. Now, what are the nucleated cells? I'm not going to go into the detail, but the point is you need to have a bigger spectrum of thinking in terms of vitamin D from now on. The people who are less in vitamin D, they are going to have more falls, and they are more prone towards fractures if they are not properly supplemented and replenished in terms of vitamin D. The next thing is a little dangerous. The reason I'm telling you is not that I just want to create a panic or some kind of stuff. The reason I want to tell you is that you need to engulf the proper importance of vitamin D sufficiency in your body. Vitamin D deficiency can lead to cancer. Now, what kind of cancers are as an example, colon cancer. Colon is in lower part of our abdomen, and it's the pipe that is taking the major part of our feces when we pass it out. And then breast cancer, and then there is a prostate cancer. All of these are associated with vitamin D deficiency, but I must say that the association of vitamin D deficiency in these cancer events are not without controversy. There are some researches that are for them, there are some researches that is against them, but still there is a healthy population of physicians and surgeons around the world who still feel like the vitamin D deficiency is associated with higher risk of cancers of these sorts and many others. Next is cardiovascular events, heart problems. If you are having some kind of heart problem, the chances are the vitamin D deficiency may have contributed to it for the last few years. Lipid metabolism and atherosclerotic events all are accelerated if you have vitamin D deficiency. So if your family is having a history of cardiovascular events, keeping your vitamin D in the recommended range is a little more important. And the same is true for diabetes. Low vitamin D levels are associated with early development of diabetes mellitus or sugar that we call it in subcontinent. And so vitamin D sufficiency is relatively protective against diabetes mellitus development. And to add to that, one surprising thing is, which was initially a surprise when a few years back I came to know the detail of it, was the vitamin D deficiency is associated with depression and neuropsychiatric disorders. Like somebody is having a mood disorder or some kind of psychological problems, the people who are deficient in vitamin D, they are more prone towards it. So if you are feeling low, then vitamin D replenishment may help you. Now, once again, I must tell you that the researches are against and for that in multiple times, but in my experience too, vitamin D deficiency replenishment does help. And one of the logical reasons for that is if you are deficient in vitamin D, the next thing you might see is that you are having pains all over the body, you are having a low quality of life, you are finding it difficult to drive to your workplace and come back and jog in the morning, or so on and so forth. So it becomes a little difficult to live a limited life, and that may make you prone towards depression. The next thing is pregnancy. Good outcomes of pregnancy are associated if you are having a good vitamin D level. A low vitamin D level may be associated with a low birth weight baby and early or a premature birth. So it's important for all walks of life. You start from the childhood, middle age and late age, everything is important. One more thing that I feel like talking is that there is a difference between west and north in USA in terms of exposure of sunlight. So in north you are more prone towards development of vitamin D deficiency, and there are areas in temperate areas where in winters practically there isn't any significant exposure of sunlight, and vitamin D development through the skin goes down the drain, like Boston and a couple of other places. So I'll go into the detail of the best way of treatment of vitamin D. How can you treat it without any medicine? What kind of eatables that you should take in order to make sure that you and your family stay protected against vitamin D deficiency. I hope I have answered few of the questions that people had in their mind about vitamin D deficiency. If you want me to make some video regarding specific aspects of vitamin D, you can let me know. In the next video, I'll talk about vitamin D treatment and also how vitamin D is actually made naturally. I hope you take care of yourself. All the best.